Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a Dokkan Battle video. And today we're going to be talking about Golden Frieza and what teams you should be putting him on. I've been waiting a long time for this, that's for sure. So I think I've got one good team and then one team that you may want to consider. So look at the first team here that most people will probably be using if you pull for Golden Frieza. This one with LR Cooler, of course, the EZA Cooler. I think those two are almost mandatory on this specific team in order for them to work, because for Frieza needs a specific team because his links are not really that amazing. Like there's like 3 links that he has that are just not used. So as you'll see in this usable link setup, this doesn't seem to show everything, because if you go and look here, this Frieza here has several links that the AGL Golden Frieza has, but doesn't show up for some reason. Maybe I'm just bad at the game, I just don't understand. Maybe this is too complex for me, but there's a few links in here that are not showing up for some reason, but they do share some links. Some of them are not really that great, but some of them are okay. So, of course, like I just mentioned, the 2 at the top. Then you have the stacking defense transforming Frieza, who at the end goes into Golden Frieza, and they actually... The final form of Frieza and the Golden Frieza share the most links with the AGL Golden Frieza. You're probably not going to be reaching there. I rarely ever go past like 3rd form in most events. And most times you're only seeing like the 2nd form. I feel like they really should have shortened the time it takes for him to transform, because it just takes too long. He does stack defense though, but it takes some time. But I like that he does stack defense, that's why he's on this team. Then we have Janemba, who's a guard unit. You never want to transform him unless you're like... You're in the rotation where he has like... The boss has like no health left or something, and then you can just do it for fun. But you would never really want to transform, because then you lose guard. Hopefully his EZA comes eventually, so that he'll have a better key management, because his key and his orb thing is kind of annoying. You need a certain amount of orbs for damage reduction and stuff, so he can guard. He does know how to guard pretty well, but he does take quite a bit of beating in harder events. The next one is interchangeable, whichever you prefer. Either the Tech Golden Frieza or the AGL non-LR Golden Frieza. The Tech one, or the AGL one that has a huge damage reduction as well. Both of them, most people will say, oh, this one's better than the other one, this one's better than the other one. Just pretend that both of them are there. How about that? You can have either or. If you have rainbowed in one of them, then use the rainbowed one. That's my opinion. And then of course we have the guy himself, Golden Frieza himself. So he's very strong. There are some flaws that I've already mentioned in my review, where if you are unlucky and he is not in your first rotation, and then you lose the damage reduction by default, because it counts towards it doesn't matter if he's in your rotation or not, he still loses the damage reduction over time. So you could get really unlucky, or you could get very lucky, and you could be in this first rotation, which is the best course of action here. And as you'll notice with this team, we're heavily defensive, and that's because we want to. Of course, the main goal here is to let LR Cooler cook, let him cook. So this team is literally the let him cook team, because 5 people on the team are all defensive, and almost none of them really do any damage. Like Golden Frieza can actually do damage. The LR one, he can do damage, but he's more here as a wall, and so is everyone else here except for Cooler. He's literally the weakest link, so having him in slot 2 would be the best. And so with two LR Coolers, you'll be able to cook pretty much anything in the game with this team. Now what you could do, if you want to be risky, is you could remove the stacking. You can remove this guy or this guy for AGL LR 100% Frieza. That's really risky, because honestly at this point he's starting to really fall off in terms of defensively, capability, and everything like that. Because remember, he was made before Red Zone existed, so he's able to dominate everything in the game besides Red Zone, really. You can actually bring him to Red Zone in some stages. Actually, I've done it. I've done it before. But you need to basically safeguard him, because he's very squishy at this point. On the flip side, on the positive note, he does share 5 links with this Golden Frieza at the bottom here. This one, of course, the one we're talking about here. So That is an option. But I feel like this is the best team. Of course, that's going to be a little expensive because you have Cooler here. You have this guy, who hopefully you have a few of him. And this guy who I haven't pulled very much. Oh, I guess I have, but he doesn't come up very often. So hope you're able to get at least one of him. Janemba, he came up way too often, as you can see here. And I don't even have this guy. Yeah, he's at 55%, and the AGL one is actually, I believe he's actually rainbowed. I'm not sure. You see, I have a few copies of him, so I probably would swap for the AGL one at some point, but this is the one I just have here for now. And I believe, I think that he's fine at 55%. I believe he's okay. He's pretty decent at 55. Of course, with one copy, you'd be able to put some additionals on him, and you'd want to put additionals on him, by the way, because of his passive, where after a certain amount of supers, he's able to get more defense. So you want to put more super and additionals on him so you can super up. And obviously 79% is the most optimal, but I mean it's a gold coin banner, and as you saw there, I went through the whole discount and I didn't get any of him. So your chances are very low to get him, considering that there's 2 LRs on the banner featured. So I think overall this is a pretty good team. So I think that's where we're going to end it, guys. I think this is the best team defensively and offensively for this particular team. Of course, most people will say that they are not in meta anymore because of the Gods team, but I mean, there's multiple teams that are definitely top tier. And who knows in the future when they'll make a Final Form, standalone Final Form Frieza. That may happen in the future. Maybe have the 12 key being like the Death Beam, and his, I don't know, his 18 key, like, I don't know what it would be. Because remember the AGL LR Final Form Frieza, the super 100% version, already has the Death Ball as his 18 key, so I don't know what it would be. But I know for sure the 12 key would probably be the Death Beam. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you. Let me know in the comment section down below what team you're gonna be running for if you pulled for this Frieza. Of course, if you didn't, well then you wouldn't run anything. But I've been waiting a long time for this. I'm ready to let LR Cooler cook with almost no like frets, unless you like get 2 coolers in one rotation. I hate that. It's a lot of time actually does happen, where you have 2 coolers on one rotation, and I hate that because they're not really strong defensively. So you really need all this defense here to make them work really well. But when you do, he's gonna cook. Alright guys, sorry about that. See you in the next video. Peace.